Ram season right now here in Waynesboro. Big city selection, hometown prices. Up to $7,000 off or 1.9% APR. Take the short drive on Highway 25 and we'll save you time and money. GoodToGoWaynesboro.com.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Got some showers heading our way. Tonight, a live look here at Beach Island from our camera there. Coming up, we'll tell you who we can expect the rain to move in.
Plus, an exclusive update from our I-Team about plans for a new child development center at Fort Gordon. And get ready to laugh until you cry. A world-famous comedian coming back to Augusta.
But first, the Columbia County School Board, the former superintendent there, Sandra Caraway, and the former teacher, Scott Hooker, facing a lawsuit.
Today, Madison Cooksey's attorney filed a complaint alleging Hooker was inappropriate with her while at school. The alleged sexual assault happened in 2017 at Evans High School, and the suit claims teacher Scott Hooker called her over to his desk and put his hand on Cooksey's lower back and alleges he then moved his hand lower, groping her, causing her to run out of the classroom. Cooksey claims she then notified another teacher about the sexual advances. An investigation followed with the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, but it goes on to say Hooker was allowed to continue working for the school system at Evans High. Then on February 23rd, the lawsuit claims former Superintendent Sandra Caraway wrote a letter to Hooker saying he admitted to giving Cooksey a side hug and stated his interactions with female students are, quote, worrisome.
It's honestly pretty devastating to go through all of this and feel the way that I'm feeling without any backup other than, the people who are on my side and support me in that way. Columbia County hasn't really done their part, nor are they wanting to do their part, and it's just really tough for people in my situation going through that and wanting to come forward and wanting justice for the right things and nobody else wanting justice for you.
September of last year, Hooker was in court to face charges of inappropriately touching Cooksey. We learned the school district was made aware of that incident. Fact. An I-Team investigation, we told you, an investigator with the Georgia Professional Standards Commission said the only case they had on file is from April of 2022, meaning no one from Columbia County reported Hooker's actions in 2017. Educators are required to report a breach in the Code of Ethics no later than 90 days from the date the educator becomes aware of it. Cooksey is seeking at least $35,000 in damages. Meanwhile, Scott Hooker is out on bond. His next trial date set for August 21st.
And we'll hear more from Madison and her lawyer tomorrow after sitting down with the I-Team. But if you want to look back on any of our past coverage on this case and others he's involved in, head to Wrdw.com.
Much more news ahead. A quick check of the weather now. A live look from our Grovetown camera. Storms start to creep into the area. Let's hear from Anthony Carpino.
Well, guys, as we go through this evening, we are going to keep an eye to the skies. Radar is starting to light up for us, especially for areas just outside of the metro, just west of downtown Augusta. We're picking up some good thunderstorm activity, especially over Fort Gordon, stretching through Columbia, as well as McDuffie County. These showers are going to continue to move off toward the south, so if you're in Burke County, you're going to likely see more on-and-off showers as we go through the next couple of hours. Also, just outside of Aiken, along Highway 1 there, where it crosses over the interstate, you're also seeing one good little thunderstorm right now. The current view outside over Beach Island, we got some more of those ominous skies out there in the distance. Temperature-wise, we're sitting into the 80s right now here in Augusta. It feels more like 82. It is a little bit sticky out there. Dew points are into the upper 60s. Where some folks have seen the rain, we're into the mid-lower 70s, 73 to 77 between Washington and at the lake. A little bit warmer in Sylvania. Haven't quite seen the rainfall there. 87 right now. Now, as we continue through this evening with more rain out there, that's going to cool us down pretty quickly. 70s turn into 60s, and that pattern is going to stay wet for us as we go through the day tomorrow. We'll have your Thursday forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Teachers across Georgia and here at home are feeling the burnout. The Professional Association of Georgia Educators says 82% of schools in the state are short on teachers, and 20% want to leave the profession within the next 5 years. Governor Kemp signed and approved a $2,000 teacher pay raise this year. But closer to home, Columbia County is focusing on keeping graduates in the area to focus on education by guaranteeing interviews with the district after they graduate.
Richmond County has a similar program, but are these commitment signings really working? Our Nick Veland breaks down the newest numbers.
Well, it was a celebration for the Columbia County School District today for future teachers and first-year teachers. First-year teachers standing, future teachers signing. ramping up for the career in front of them.
I have my own classroom in 4 to 5 years, and to just be able to change the community and kids.
Ashlyn Crabtree is one of the 50 graduating in Columbia County, signing their intent to be a teacher. Columbia County's Teaching as a Profession program has grown over 4 years to all 5 high schools. For Richmond County, they have this pathway in 4 schools. Signing today guarantees an interview in the county, looking to make students now the district's teachers later. In Richmond County, their students are showing interest in teaching as well, with 18 signing this year compared to 15 last year. For first-year teachers, they come at a time when some are leaving.
It's just great to be able to realize, what I'm doing now, they're going to remember me, and they're going to think back, and just to be able to make that impact.
Luke Yelton is this year's Columbia County Rookie of the Year, among the other first-year teachers recognized today. It's an incentive looking to keep the teachers long-term. Columbia County currently has a retention rate of 92%. Richmond County has a 3-year induction program where they look to help new teachers grow. Columbia County has a first-year mentorship program, and both of these look to support teachers early on to keep them longer.
Work with her every day. She's right across the hall from me. She's given me so much advice. If she wanted to open a consulting firm, I would run out of money very quickly.
For Columbia County, the longer-term goal is to create a signing bonus for those who graduate within Columbia County and then become a teacher in Columbia County, just adding another incentive. In Columbia County, Nick Veland on your side.
The county says they've done automatic interviews for the last 3 years, so next year they'll see how many students will take up the offer.
Can't get them in the classroom soon enough.
Fast enough, that's right.
Well, it's been 6 years now since world-famous comedian Kevin Hart came and took a jog right through Augusta before performing here. In this video, you can see him starting in Augusta, running there along the levee path before heading over the 13th Street Bridge and right down into North Augusta and along the Greenway. This is hard to believe looking back now, but in less than a month, Hart will be back in Augusta for the Reality Check Tour. He covered a lot of ground that day.
Yeah, moving.
Yeah, he's set to perform at the Bell Auditorium one night only.
And they just announced it, so this is kind of like a surprise last-minute show, but the city just broke ground on the new $17.5 million renovation and expansion project for the Bell. Hallie Turner takes a look at what that means for one of the largest shows this area's seen in a long time.
What he lacks in height, he makes up for with humor.
The biggest thing in our social circle was like quoting Kevin Hart jokes, and so it still is, like 10 years later.
And he's coming back to the river region.
Kevin Hart is hilarious. He's one of the biggest names in comedy. He's kind of one of those like once in a lifetime opportunities to see. He doesn't come around very often.
He's making his appearance in June in the middle of a $17.5 million facelift for the Bell. Officials at the entertainment complex say construction impact isn't a worry. It's minimal until July 1, but ticket sales are the thing to watch because they're going fast.
This morning when we logged on, the first like 3 sets of seats we clicked on, by the time we put them in our basket to pay for them, it was already like, hey, they're not available.
Haley says no matter the hassle, she isn't missing the chance to see Hart.
First real big name in comedy that I got into by myself outside of watching it with my dad. I remember like when all of his specials first made it on Netflix, binging all of them. My friends would all come over.
Officials say the concert is a cell phone free zone. It will go in a pouch so you can't video the performance. Parking will be $5 cash or credit, and the clear bag policy is in effect. But patrons can expect to see more celebrities like Hart in the coming months, benefiting business owners like Haley.
So an event of this magnitude with somebody that's really that popular and that mainstream, that trickles down for the whole economy, because you're going to have people going downtown to get dinner before the show.
And if you want to see more of Kevin's run through Augusta and North Augusta back in 2017, look for this story on our website. We have an exclusive update tonight from the I-Team about a new child development center planned for Fort Gordon.
We first told you about it back in January when Senator John Ossoff helped secure more than $20 million to fund it. But tonight he tells our Meredith Anderson the project could be in jeopardy thanks to government red tape.
And tonight, Senator Ossoff tells me he has a plan to cut through that red tape. He says it's a priority. That's because child care for our local military families isn't just important to moms and dads at Fort Gordon. It's actually important to all of us.
As if this job isn't stressful enough. Military families who move often and work unusual hours have to find childcare. Since 1985, the number of active duty single parents has jumped 67%. Households where both parents are active duty military has also more than doubled. Childcare isn't a luxury. It's a basic need.
It's the right thing, period. It's important, period. And also, it is vital to our national security. because it gets at our ability to recruit and retain talented people to serve in the armed forces.
Which is why Senator John Ossoff says Fort Gordon needs a new child development center. Earlier this year, the I-Team broke the news he'd secured millions for a building to serve 126 children between the ages of 6 weeks and 5 years. But it will now take another act of Congress to put those plans in motion.
You got to have two things in place. You have to secure the funding, and you have to ensure that the Army has the proper authority to build it.
This week, he and Senator Raphael Warnock are introducing a bill to give the Army that authority. They want to include it in the National Defense Authorization Act. Congress passes it each year to give the green light to pretty much everything the Department of Defense does.
I think we've got a good shot at success is, again, bring Republicans and Democrats together to make sure the Army has the necessary authority and time to get this done.
Senator Ossoff says if this goes through, he hopes the new center could be up and running by 2026. Of course, we will keep you posted.
All right, please do, Meredith. Thank you. Still to come on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we catch up with this giant hot dog that's been walking downtown to promote an event this weekend.
And as you're heading out the door tonight, make sure you pack that umbrella with you. You're going to need it. We're talking about more scattered showers and storms, and it's looking to be a pretty wet Thursday and going to be on the cooler side. We'll have that full forecast for you coming up next.
The clouds have been rolling in this afternoon as we give you a live look at I-20 Riverwatch Parkway and check in with First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino.
Yeah, Richard, we've been watching the clouds and the rainfall that's been out there. We've definitely seen some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and this is likely going to continue as we go through the next couple of hours and all the way through the day tomorrow, looking to be on the more cooler side and going to be a little bit wet out there. Here's a live look at radar across the Tuesday. We can really see a good amount of thunderstorm activity now just pushing to the south of Macon, but locally here in Augusta, we've been seeing just some lighter rainfall right now. Much of that heavier rain has actually been between Grovetown, Appling, as well as in Thompson, and most of that now also pushing through Fort Gordon. We'll go down to the south a little bit more. Burke County seeing some on and off thunderstorm in Waynesboro all the way through Sardis. These are going to continue to push into some of our southern counties as we go through the next couple of hours, and just more on and off rainfall for us going through midnight and then continuing all the way through tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. Now, our warmest temperatures tomorrow are going to be found in the morning versus the afternoon, but either way, it's going to be a little bit cooler with temperatures only staying into the 60s both in the morning and later on into the day. Friday is going to be a little bit drier for us, but then we'll watch a few more isolated showers pop back up as we go through Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Here's a curtain view outside over Beach Island. We have one good little shower just off in the distance there. Temperature-wise in Augusta, we're sitting at about 80 degrees. It feels more like 82 thanks to those higher dew points, so it feels a little bit sticky as you're heading outside as well. For folks that have stayed dry so far today, we're into the mid and upper 80s, 87 in Sylvania, but 73 in Washington, 82 in Aiken, and a closer look at the Augusta Metro, it's 83 degrees currently in downtown, 79 just across the river in North Augusta. As we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to start things off a little bit wet. Temperature-wise, we're going to be into the mid-60s, so make sure the kids have the umbrella ready to go as they're going off to the bus stop. Later on into the afternoon, we're actually going to notice those temperatures going to be just a little bit cooler, about 64 degrees, and this is a look at how much rainfall we could see as we go through the next couple of days. It is going to be hit or miss, so while some folks get closer to maybe 2, possibly even 3 inches, other folks that stay a little bit drier, maybe between about a quarter to half an inch. So really going to be dependent on who sees that rainfall out there. Temperature-wise through the day tomorrow, again, starting in the 60s, working into the lower 60s by 10 o'clock tomorrow night, and then Friday looking to stay on the cooler side, working in their way into the mid-upper 70s by Friday afternoon. Most of Friday will remain dry as well as Saturday, but we do have a good chance at showers and storms going through late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, and then we're just going to be in that summer-like pattern through most of next week. An isolated shower here or there, but temperatures below average, 82, about 82.
Anthony, thanks. Have you seen this guy walking the streets downtown? Yeah, it's hard to miss, isn't it? He's out there dressed up as a hot dog, promoting an event that is happening this weekend. This Saturday, Savannah River Brewing is hosting their first ever Wiener Fest.
And it's not about the dogs this time. It's to celebrate hot dogs. Our Will Volk caught up with one of the organizers to ask what we can expect.
It's not every day you see a guy in a wiener costume walking down the street.
Scott Russell has transformed himself into a walking, talking wiener.
It's a lot of fun. You can do whatever you want when you're in a wiener costume.
Russell is not dressing like this just to be fashionable. He's trying to promote a new event he created with his friends at Love Augusta.
One of them was like, I've always wanted to do a hot dog festival, and we all died laughing and said, we're going to call it Wiener Fest.
He says they quickly mustered up support from local businesses, and now half a dozen restaurants are making hot dogs for this.
I wanted to see what these vendors could kind of cook up, because they're all making their own special hot dog, and with the amazing vendors we have, I know it's going to be some really good food.
Whether you're there to eat, watch the hot dog eating contest, or hang out, Russell thinks it'll be fun.
It's going to be a wienerific day.
And yes, he already has his outfit picked out.
I'll definitely be the biggest wiener in town that day.
In Augusta, Will Volk on your side.
And Wienerfest starts Saturday at 1 o'clock at Savannah River Brewing. So, yeah, looks like a good time to be
It's
had.
coming, yeah, right. Registration for the eating competition is all shut down now, but you can watch it for free if you want to watch an eating contest celebrating the lowly hot dog and getting a different take on it from different restaurants.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see who reigns supreme.
We'll find out. If it's an annual event, we'll let you know. Aquinas High School is about to get a new sports complex. Dan Booth, live after the break to fill us in about that transformation that's happening.
Plus, the Salvation Army is giving back to those who support them. We have their stories, so many success stories, and more after the break.
Firstly and Associates.
Today, the Salvation Army of Augusta had their Compassion in Action lunch. That event spotlights community members who've gone above and beyond to support them in their mission of doing good in the community. And as you can see, a packed house, lots of people there today are Zana Halliburton and Cliff Bennett were the MCs of the event. One of the main missions of the Salvation Army is to provide humanitarian services to all in need. Last year, their job skills training program, 73% of those that needed service gained employment. One woman we talked to turned to the Salvation Army during a tough time in her life, and now she is a core mission associate and hosts programs for others looking for help. She says any donation matters.
Donate, give, because that one thing that you're giving could help. That one shirt could help somebody that needs it for an interview. That one bag of diapers could help a baby.
The Salvation Army also highlighted their successes this year, more than 29 nights for those looking for temporary housing and almost 70,000 meals served.
Aiken County in the final stages now of choosing their next county administrator. Council members decided the deputy administrator, Brian Sanders, will replace Clay Killian. They also approved contract negotiations to begin for that position, and that contract will be reviewed by the council before they adopt that. Well, AU Health Air Care is their helicopter crew is getting a lot of attention on social media. This is a look at their TikTok page. If they're there, you may want to give them a follow, AUH_Air Care. When they're not saving lives, they're busy educating the masses about what it takes to be an EMT in the sky. They've got a ton of videos you can look at about what they do. They have a little more than 2,000 followers now, but that number seems to be growing by the day. Their most popular videos have almost 50,000 views, so check them out when you get a chance.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
Good evening, everyone. I'm reporting live from Aquinas High School, where, as we speak right now, they are presenting the plans for a capital campaign worth $12 million, which most of which is going towards renovations for many of their sports facilities. $8.6 million of that $12 million are going towards renovations to the football stadium, the baseball field, and the surrounding buildings. These changes will make it easier for Aquinas' sports teams to figure out practice schedules and make it easier for these fans to have access to the fields on game nights. There will be more ramps and more bathrooms included to help everybody out who's coming over to Aquinas. These changes will have the chance to impact the school for decades to come.
It will not only impact our students and their families, but also our future students. We are building this for the next generation of students. The next fields have served us for 50 years. That's what we're looking for.
The groundbreaking for these new facilities is scheduled to take place in August. After sweeping every playoff series they've had so far this postseason, the Harlem baseball team is heading to the state championship for the first time since 1999. The Bulldogs' last state championship win was back in 1986, and head coach Jimmy Lewis says the hard work his players have been putting in all year long is responsible for their dominant playoff run.
This crowd right here has worked. I mean, unbelievable amount of hours, not only when we have practice, but at night, turning on the lights and hitting and taking ground balls, etc. But, it's just a great opportunity. They've worked hard. They've got to it. The championship. Now we need to play real good and finish the job.
Harlem State Championship Series against Ringgold begins with a doubleheader on Friday night. Game 1 starts at 5 o'clock at Advent Health Stadium in Rome, home of the Rome Braves. I'll have the latest on the Bulldogs and all of the changes happening here at Aquinas later on this evening. But for now, reporting from Aquinas High School, Dan Booth on your set.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. Well, as you're heading out the door this evening, you're going to want to bring that umbrella. We're tracking some lighter showers through the Augusta area right now, but not too far away as you go down Highway 25, Waynesboro, seeing some good thunderstorm activity. We'll have another check of the forecast when we come back.
News 12, voted best weather coverage by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries helps you work around that special piece you can't live without. It's the Memorial Day sale. It's our best offer ever. Save on all your favorite Lazy Boy styles. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
All right, more scattered showers and storms are going to be possible for this evening. Thursday is going to be pretty cool for us, with afternoon highs only in the mid-60s. 70% chance at some showers out there. A drier Friday and a few isolated storms possible as we go through the upcoming weekend. Most of Saturday is dry. That rainfall really after sunset.
Anthony, thanks. Our next live update comes at 7 o'clock on NBC 26.
Then we're back with more News 12 tonight at 11. Have a great night.